my native place is Mangalore. So at home we speak
Mm-hmm.
Kannada and English. So the Hindi, it posed a bit of a problem for me in the beginning. First and foremost, I always suggest get a hard copy of the syllabus
Mm-hmm.
and to by heart the syllabus. Timely
Mm-hmm.
revision and consistency is very important. If you don't have a math background, like I don't have a math background, practice some basic math, average, percentage, and ratio and proportion. If you have these three concepts in place, then you can get all the questions of DI. This was a platform where I came across videos and material that was provided in English because it helped me get a very quick revision. It tests your ability to stay calm in those 3 hours.
Namaste, myself Gogisetti Venkatan, and I'm a lecturer of Vivekanand Yoga Academy. And we are very and heartfully congratulating you on this great achievement and clearing on NET and the JRF. And please introduce yourself.
Hari Om, ma'am. My name is Shyla Shyamsundar. I am currently pursuing my PhD. I'm in my first semester of my coursework in SVASA. Prior to this, I have pursued my master's in yoga therapy from SVASA itself, and my bachelor's in botany and zoology from St. Xavier's College, Mumbai. And after that, I've also done my master's in botany from the same place.
How many attempts that has taken to clear this JRF?
Technically, my second attempt, but I would call it my previous attempt because I had prepared more seriously for this than the first attempt. Yes.
Okay, great. So, what are the challenges that you have faced? So I know. So, how good are you at paper one, and how good are at paper two? How you incorporate these paper one and paper? So, what are your strategies?
Okay, so when I had appeared for the first time in December 2023, I had scored around 66 in paper one without any preparation. So I felt like paper one was a strong point for me. And paper two, I had scored only 122 out of 200. So after looking at my marks then, but I managed to clear NET with those many marks. But I understood that I need to work a lot on my second paper, the yoga paper. So for this time's preparation, I changed my strategy. I focused more on the yoga paper, and simultaneously I kept practicing paper one to not lose touch with it. I mean, I paid equal importance to paper one as well, but made sure that my paper two was strong. Yes.
This time, how much score you gained on paper two?
Yes, I scored 82 questions correct out of 100. So, 164 marks.
So, do you face any challenge in Sanskrit? Like, are you strong in the Sanskrit?
Yes,
the slokas and all that stuff? Yes,
Sanskrit wasn't an issue for me. It was mostly Hindi because most of the content that I came across was all in Hindi. And me being, my native place is Mangalore. So at home we speak Kannada and English. So the Hindi, it posed a bit of a problem for me in the beginning, but I caught up with it gradually because I feel like this exam requires a mixture of English, Hindi and Sanskrit.
And Hindi, that's absolutely true. So when I was studying for preparing for this thing, JRF, I also had this language barrier. I'm completely new to the Hindi. I came to academy and I cracked it. So language is not a barrier at all if you have that zeal to learn the subject.
Yes.
Okay. And do you suggest any? Of course, you seems like you are not a hard worker. You are a smart worker. Do you share any strategies to the upcoming ones so that they will use them in like for preparing examination or on the spot of the examination? Is there any kind of them?
Okay, so for the exam, first and foremost, I always suggest to get a hard copy of the syllabus and to by heart the syllabus. because in the yoga paper, if you don't set boundaries on what you have to learn, it can become very open-ended, and the syllabus
Yes.
can be as vast as an ocean as well. So it's very important to download or keep a hard copy of it and by heart firstly. And then once you're reading the unit, you have to remind yourself that you're reading it from an objective point of view, because this is an MCQ exam. So and also going through PYQs, because that helps you catch the pulse of the exam, and you try to understand the pattern of questions being asked, so you'll also read the subject accordingly, and that will help you save a lot of time.
That's
also
correct.
timely revision and consistency is very important.
Yeah, strongly note on that. The consistency is the key.
I just wanted to say that if a gap exists in your preparation for even like 2 or 3 days, then once that flow is disrupted, it takes some more time to get back to preparation. So maintaining that flow and consistency is very important, I feel. Yeah.
That's correct. Absolutely. How about the paper one? You already mentioned you are strong at the paper one. So what do you say about the paper one and its preparation? So it had 10 units. So could you please share your knowledge?
Yes. So paper one, I focused more on areas that yielded more output to the effort I put in. So areas like logical reasoning, research methodology, data interpretation. Usually data interpretation students tend to, especially those who don't have math background, they tend to get scared and they tend to ignore it completely. But actually, if you practice a little, it can be very scoring. So you get those 10 marks in your hand. So data interpretation, research methodology, logical reasoning, these three are a must. And reading comprehension is also very scoring. You don't need to do any specific extra preparation for it. If you just practice a little, if you have that habit of reading, and you'll get through. In addition to that, so I would say first focus on these areas, because these are the areas where the amount of work you put in, you will get results for that. Because other areas like communication, it's unpredictable a bit. It's not like questions will always come from the syllabus. Sometimes questions from anywhere tend to come in those areas. ICT is also predictable in a sense. So investing your time in ICT is also good. Teaching aptitude is also good. And people and environment, I would say focus more on the areas where questions have been coming off late, like pollution and the solar energy and all of those protocols. Yes, those conventions and protocols. Those are the areas that have to be focused on more in people and environment. And maths, if you don't have a math background, like I don't have a math background. So what I would say is, okay, if you don't have a math background, practice some basic maths, but then shift your focus more on data interpretation, because data interpretation, you need 3 core concepts, which are average, percentage, and ratio and proportion. If you have these 3 concepts in place, then you can get all the questions of DI correctly. So it's okay even if you don't have that math background, but if you focus on these 3 areas, your DI will be sorted. But practice is required.
Yeah, many times we have to practice. Great. So what is the role of Vivekanand Academy in your section? So what is their interaction, how they facilitated you, and all? Please share about that.
So as I mentioned that I was struggling with Hindi. So this was a platform where I came across videos and material that was provided in English. So that kind of hastened the process for me a bit. And since I already have a science background, the lectures of anatomy and physiology, diet and nutrition, those areas mostly I covered via this platform because it helped me get a very quick revision.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And some areas of Hatha Yoga as well, I had studied from the platform. So these three areas I found to be very, very beneficial for a student who's more comfortable in English. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. Who is your favorite teacher then from that set that you
I would
more
say,
interacted and communicated?
so I would always listen to the recorded classes because I have self-paced learning. So I never
Okay.
joined live classes, but I personally like Akarshit sir's classes a lot. Yes.
Okay. Right. Is there any tricks and tips that you can pass to the next one, upcoming one, especially in appearing of examination on that spot on those 3 efforts?
Okay. Yes, I would say firstly, even before the exam day, I've make sure that you have your admit card and all of those things ready beforehand itself, the night before. And when you go to the exam hall, it's more of this exam is it tests your ability to stay calm in those 3 hours. There are many students who study a lot, but sometimes the pressure tends to get to them. So maintaining a calm state of mind is very important, and also managing your time efficiently. So I would say once the paper is displayed on your screen, seen through the entire paper once and attempt all those questions that you are very sure of, you're 100% sure of, and then quickly move. And then there might be questions that you are confused about, or you're confused in two options. So for those questions, just note down the question number on the side and move ahead and like this complete the paper, like the entire paper once. Then the second time, you cross check those questions that you are 100% sure of. Make sure you selected the right option because sometimes you can make that mistake. So that might cost you marks. And then those questions that you were confused about, now take some more time and decide which answer you want to select.
Okay.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes, and at least twice you have to go through the paper, I feel, at least minimum.
So for that we have to manage the time. So
Yes.
to go through twice, we have to manage the time initially, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for your sharing your successful journey towards
Thank you,
NET
ma'am.
JRF. And all the best for your future, and hope you will get a good topic for the research and you contribute something for the society. Okay. Thank you so much from the academy.
Thank you, ma'am.
All the best.
Thank you.